What follows is the story of George R. R. Martin's epic northern climax in A Dance with Dragons, the tale of the pink letter. But it's also a testament to two giant YouTubers, Preston Jacobs and Tony Teflon. Let's get ready to rumble. Toward the end of A Dance with Dragons, Jon Snow receives a letter sealed with pink wax and signed by Ramsay Bolton. The letter claims Stannis has been defeated and that Mance Rayder is captured. After reading, Jon decides he will break with the Night's Watch and move against the Boltons. As you know, in short order he meets Caesar's fate. But did Ramsay really write the pink letter? What's at play here? Both Jacobs and Teflon think Jon and the reader are being led astray. However, they don't quite agree on who is the secret scribe. Now the fight. In the blue trunks with white trim from across the pond, Preston, Sweet Robin, Jacobs. Sweet Robin will argue that Mance Rayder is our culprit, though he's probably wrong about half of it. Fans should watch out for his patented wildling submission maneuver. In the spring of 2014, Jacobs is presenting his three-part series, Who Wrote the Pink Letter? The series begins with an admonition or reprimand from Jacobs to the Song of Ice and Fire readers. He contends we barely even remember the most basic of story points. To quote Jacobs, "It's been a long time since I read Green Eggs and Ham, but I'm pretty sure it ends with some dude eating green eggs and ham." And further, to use a Galileo reference, I think Jacobs is imploring us to look through his telescope. Look with him and discover the wondrous world that is veiled by our indifferent reading of Martin's books. I know I surely now look upon the books much differently, and admittedly, with a little bit of shame. In the yellow trunks, trimmed black, from the Empire State, Tony the Don Teflon! Tja! The Don pulls the strings. Fans, please note Teflon has a Dreadfort Maester in his corner. By the time Jacobs came to publish, Teflon has beaten him to the pink letter punch, but with a different person in mind as the penman, Stannis Baratheon. And following Jacobs' series, Teflon updates his followers, iterating the Stannis is the man theory. I think, despite his now vaulted made-man position, Teflon represents the everyday person in vernacular, and their ability to confidently interpret and discuss Martin's secrets for themselves. The differences in style between Sweet Robin and the Don belie an underlying similarity in their effect on us. Both engage their viewers to personally approach Martin's text differently than they had in the past, seeking not a broader but a better, more satisfying understanding of Martin's ideas. Kind of a Lutheran reformation for A Song of Ice and Fire. Well, enough philosophy and how Tony represents Hume and Preston represents Kant. But one more housekeeping item before we ring the bell. I know no one likes a poll, but I wanted to add a scorecard to this video, where you can vote on its winner, see what others think. Click the eye icon in the top right. You can always change your vote if your feelings change. Ding, 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 ding. Jacobs forwards 6 starter reasons to doubt Bolton wrote the pink letter, though most, including yours truly Sir Steffon here, agree. Let's go over them quickly anyway. I'll start by nitpicking. First, does the pink letter have the wrong color wax? Jacob's idea is that Ramsay should be using the white wax of Winterfell. But we should note, when at Barrington, away from the Dreadfort, Ramsay does send Asha Greyjoy a letter with a pink seal and signs it Ramsay Bolton, Lord of Winterfell. The other 5 reasons seem more sound. The writing is not spiky, as in another sample, nor written in blood as usual. The style seems somewhat different, and there is no skin piece in this one, as is sometimes seen. But most importantly, the letter's author talks about heads upon the wall and eating hearts. And we all know the Boltons flay and display. They don't behead and spike. As Jacobs eloquently puts it, it's on their friggin' flag. So why does Jacob think Mance wrote the pink letter? Mainly because there does seem to be an obsession with wildlings and the wildling submission ceremony where the fake Mance was burned. The pink letter calls Jon Snow out as a liar about burning Mance. But no one in the Seven Kingdoms cares if Jon lied. No one in the Seven Kingdoms cares about the 6 spear wives that were with Mance, especially when hundreds of Northmen have just died in a massive battle. Why this wildling's focus from a northern lord who just defeated a Stormlander in a 7-day battle? Most interestingly, Jacobs points out that, other than the signatures, every person in the letter is referred to using an alias. Other than Mance Rayder, that is. Here's the list. False king, bastard, red whore, my bride, 6 whores, false king's queen, his daughter, this wildling princess, his little prince, my reek, and black crows. When I first heard this, I think my heart skipped a beat. The letter also has language we associate with wildlings. Here Jacobs pointed out that black crows is a north of the wall saying, so to speak. I took a look and found this to be true if we include Craster and Jon Snow. I did find a small counter case where a knight with Armory Lorch in the Riverlands calls Yoren a, quote, crow, but doesn't include the black moniker. Further, at one prior point, Mance had used the turn of phrase, for all the world to see. And again, the letter contains a similar, for all the north to see. To briefly summarize Jacob's position, we have Mance's language. We have Wildling's language. Everything is an alias except for Mance. For some reason, and most importantly, there's an obsession with the Wildling submission ceremony when Ramsay has no reason to focus on the Wildlings. Teflon wants to treat this pink letter mystery like a crime, looking at motive, means, and opportunity. Now, while admitting that Mance does have a motive to send the pink letter, maybe either to contact Tormund or to get Jon to bring the Wildlings to Winterfell, or something similar, Tony disagrees with Jacob's assessment that Stannis would not send the letter because it is a recipe for chaos at the Wall. The Don correctly points out that Stannis has been trying to involve Jon and the Wildlings in his plans to unify the North, almost since the beginning. And on means and opportunity, one must admit all things point to Stannis over Mance. Who has the means? Let's say, who has the access to pink wax and a raven to fly to Castle Black? Why, Stannis and his captured Dreadfort Maester, of course. Now, we know Mance can climb through windows, but as far as opportunity, Tony asks if Mance has the opportunity to write and send the bastard letter among the alert eyes and commotion at Winterfell. And further, he notes Stannis seems to have nothing but time on his hands at this point in the story. So ask yourself, who is Martin given the motive, means, and opportunity to write the pink letter? The Don puts on a persuasive case. It is Stannis. Of course, as always, there is some room for a middle ground, and Teflon has covered how Stannis and Mance seem to be in some cahoots. So I did put cahoots as an option in the scorecard. Up next, how we know Qhorin is Hightower, number 83 of the Holy 100. Bull-like size and age fits perfect. Lighthouse-like spear and pains descriptions. Jon calls him Lord, and Qhorin always commands. What happens to white bulls? The matching hand injuries. The braid description. Okay, George, now you're just effing with us. P.S. Links to a couple of Preston's and Tony's vids are below, and, as always, I obviously hope this is the beginning, not the end of your look at their ideas. Sir Steffon, out.